If I could share one tip with you today, in which I believe will take your business to the next level, what would it be? One of the most powerful things that you own is your story. It doesn't matter if you are a business owner. It doesn't matter if you are a content creator. It doesn't matter if you are a speaker. People absolutely love to know about you. If we were all honest, all of us are looking for inspiration. We're all looking for motivation. We're all looking for the steps which show us how to create, how to do, and how to be better than what we are today. We crave connection. And that's what your story does. It connects you to your audience. And that's going to be the thing that sets you apart. Your marketing is more important than your mastery. What does that mean? You can have the best service. You can have the best product. You can create the most efficient system in the market. But until people really know who you are and know what you do, could it be that it's all in vain? So what am I saying to you? It's okay that you don't start off perfectly right away. Now, of course, you want to make it as excellent as possible when you do come to market. But again, your marketing is more important than your mastery. We all want to be a success. We all need motivation. And at times in our life, we all need inspiration. That's where I come in. I'm a cheerleader of sorts. I like doing it. I like helping people, and I like encouraging them to be their absolute best. Like the little jingle there. Hey everybody, it's Kisa, Coach K, and I'm back in the building here at Creed, reminding all of us to, no matter what we do, to think big. I've got my board here, so you recognize that I am getting ready to teach and follow up related to the teaching that I debuted last week on narcissistic abusers. And are you dating a narcissist? In fact, it was entitled, You Could Be Dating a Narcissist. And I'll tell you about it. I received a lot of feedback regarding that series on You Could Be Dating a Narcissist. You can go back and you can check my social media pages. You can check YouTube, Facebook, even LinkedIn. It's on LinkedIn as well. But you can go back and you can take a look at some of those videos, and got a lot of feedback about that. I gave tips on how you recognize you could be dating a narcissist and what to expect. I really did a broad look at it. I almost think that at some point I need to go back and I need to really kind of expand on that, because it was a teaching from one woman's perspective, a lot of things out there. But if there's something that I do pretty doggone good, I know how to take a story and I know how to condense that story down and make it real relatable. I know how to take information, lots of information, and condense it down and make it really digestible and kind of talk to you in homegirl speak, if that makes sense. So shout out to my location here, Creed 63. I come and do these classes when no one's here, when it's relatively quiet and low key, because it is a co-working space. So shout out to them. For entrepreneurs, if it's a space that you need, they have you covered. A little bit about me. I am Coach K. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. My name is Kisa Sharp. I'm Coach K. Let me put on these glasses so I can go ahead and put this website up here so you can see it. And I won't necessarily, here we go. You know, you just have to be honest about some things, like I need my glasses and let me go ahead and wear them and stop playing. So anyway, KisaSharp.com, life/coaching, life-coaching. It will show you all of the things that I can provide for you, all the things. I have a life coaching arm, and I also have a media training arm. I'm a 30-year vested media professional broadcast journalist, corporate communicator included, and also columnist and writer, newspaper columnist and newspaper writer. So, I'm invested in the communications industry. So I have a la carte services that I offer, like emceeing and hosting and training, but also life coaching. I am the life change strategist, and life has taught me a thing or two. And I don't profess to be any better than anyone else or anything. I just like to take information that I receive or life lessons that I receive, and I like to share them with you. That's all. That's the difference with me. I just like to share them. I like to make it really digestible, really plain. I'll use myself as an example. There is no shame in what I have gone through. I just hope to use my life and my examples to be better and to hopefully help you to be better as well. So, what am I doing today? That's an introduction about who I am. What am I doing today? Our subject is going to be 5 tips to survive narcissistic abuse. 5 tips to survive narcissistic abuse, 5 tips to recover from narcissistic abuse. And let me go ahead and issue the warning up front. You can do your own research and also do additional research on narcissistic abuse. So I in no way try to say that what I say is the absolute gospel. You're welcome to disagree with me. I just hope to open up a line of thought, okay? From my studies, this is what I've put together. It's what's made sense to me. It's helped me understand some of the things that I've dealt with from people that made absolutely no sense, because narcissistic abuse, it doesn't make a lot of sense in your natural mind. And that's because I don't even think the perpetuators of narcissistic abuse, I don't think it's about making sense. I just think, unfortunately, they have either been a victim or are either caught up in a loop that they're not even aware of. So, to the truest degree of that, my heart even goes out to them, because sometimes oftentimes the perpetuators of abuse have been the abused. And rather than making a recovery or pledging to do different, often they carry out the same abuse. I had a relative ask me or say to me, make a comment about my teaching starting off on narcissistic abuse. And, they said, well, some people could be upset with you. You could make some people angry by some of what they see. To which I flippantly said, I don't care. That's what I said. And I thought about it. It was kind of like I got a quick check after that. I believe that the Lord kind of checked me on that really, really quickly. And it was like, that's not wholeheartedly true, because I do care. I care. The reason that I'm standing here off hours, dressed up while it's quiet, creating these videos for you, is because I care. I care about the person who's being abused in a narcissistic relationship, or at the hands of a narcissistic person, or at the hands of a person who's displaying narcissistic traits. I care about that person who's dealing with the depression, who's dealing with the disappointment, who's even potentially dealing with suicidal thoughts, because all of that opens you up, believe it or not, to additional things. You don't just act depressed. You don't just get depression and that's just it. No, when you start going in those arenas, or your heart is open to those things, oftentimes it can lead to some other things down the road, whether it's sickness, whether it's a life of medication, whether it's other physical ailments. So I care about the person. Let's get a hold on this now. Let me tell you, as another woman at 52 years old who's lived who's lived a little bit of life, let me tell you, this is what it looks like. Let me tell you, I understand other women. I have coached other women. I've counseled other women who have dealt with that, who have come through it successfully. It is a real thing. No, it's not in your head. You're not crazy. It is a real deal. Mental and emotional abuse. Go back and study the statistics on it. Mental, emotional, psychological abuse, in some cases, are much more devastating even than physical abuse, because there is less of an ability and less of a tendency to fight it. Well, if my boyfriend is just being mean to me, or if my girlfriend's just being mean to me, it's not abuse. They're just having a bad day, or that's just who they are. If my boyfriend or my girlfriend constantly insults me, well, they're not really abusing me. They just believe in telling the truth. Do they? Can you count on a criticism from them? Well, can you, in the other hand, on the other hand, when you do something right or when you look nice, can you count on a compliment from them? Oh, okay. Is it just heavy criticism? Yeah. See, it can be real slick when we get into those things about narcissistic abuse. It can be real slick, real slick. Oh, that's just the way they are. Yeah, and I bet if you were to extend the same actions to the person who is the perpetuator or the person who is the narcissist, if you extend the same things to them, talk crazy to them, be absent, mentally, psychologically abused, withhold from them, avoid them in your relationship, practice on avoidance. Well, I thought you said you loved me, but you're never around, or you're always gone, or you always act like you're tired, or once you get what you want from me, I don't see you, or, it's weeks before I hear, or days before I hear from you again. Yeah, start, and I don't advocate revenge, but I'm just saying, I guarantee if you were to extend the same grace to them, and grace I say facetiously, but if you were to do the same thing to them, let's just put it plain, do the same thing to them, they couldn't handle it. That's all I'm saying right there. So anyway, let's talk about recovery. Don't want to get too much more into all of that, but it did cause a stir. Go back and look at those videos, and I just have a little feeling the conversation will continue regarding narcissistic abuse and recovery. I just have a little feeling the conversation will continue. I haven't really, it's been a while since I've gotten this much engagement from you all. So you know what? That means I'm going to just keep hitting in that area until we get some straightening, okay? Until we get some understanding, and until I see you recover. And that's why I do it, to see you recover. That's why I stand here and do this, because being depressed, feeling bad about yourself, that's why I do this. Yeah, I care. I care that you get out of it, or that you understand how to respond properly, or you sit down and talk to a counselor, you sit down and talk to a psychiatrist, or you sit down and talk to a friend about what you're doing and what you're going through, okay? What you're doing, how you're responding, and what your relationship looks like. Because narcissism thrives in your silence. It thrives in your silence. It thrives in your apathy. Well, it's just how they are. You sit home and you're just going about your day. You're doing all the chores at the house, and you tell people about it. You tell them what you want to see, and it still doesn't change. Yeah, it thrives on you not saying anything. That abuse thrives on you not doing anything. And I'm trying to be very, very intentional in not really looking at a person, because I'm not really dealing with the person. Okay. I'm not really dealing with the abuser. I'm just showing you what it looks like. I'm showing you how to recover, because my concern as a coach is moving you forward. The abuser will do what the abuser will do. And narcissists, if they can't get supply from you, go back and check out my videos, that series. If they can't get supply in the way of attention, money, clothing, cars, houses, whatever it is, support, attention, intimacy, if they can't get it from you, they will move on to someone else. Chances are, if you don't start learning how to pull in the reins, okay? So I'm not dealing with the abuser. They do what they do. I want you to get some help. So let's go ahead and get into this, okay? I love to go and pull my board forward here in this office space. So we're going to go ahead and pull the big board here, okay? I got my little lights going all over and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to just have to deal with the lights because I like it better, well lit. So these are just going to be our two markers. How about that? These are going to be our two markers. So let's talk about getting over narcissistic abuse, or working through narcissistic abuse. What does that look like? Because let me encourage you. I've said a lot of things at the beginning, but my message in all of this is for you. There is a way out. Good morning. There is a way out. There is a way through. It is not the end. It is not a place for you to just say, I can't get through this, or this is just all that there is. No, I'm going to challenge you on that. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So maybe these lights are symbolic of what I'm trying to convey to you today. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. So let's talk about getting to the light and walking in the light. The first thing for you to do in order to recover from narcissistic abuse or work through narcissistic abuse, and I'm going to tell you, this will challenge you. This will challenge you because narcissism thrives on you not focusing on you. And by the way, before I get to my board, we're going to go back on. Never mind. I thought I had some of my items from last week. Which one is? Yeah, we'll go there. Devaluation. So because these personality types are steeped in things like devaluation, you remember what devaluation is? Devaluation is devaluing, stripping, making you feel less than, stripping, attempting to strip you of your value. Because these types focus on things like that, this will be difficult to do, but I'm going to tell you to do it anyway. And I'm going to encourage you to do it anyway. Can you see that? All right. Yeah, you can see that. It's pretty light, but we're going to go with it. Focus on ding, 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 ding. Self. Focus on self. And it's so strong. Why don't I write this in? Why don't I write this in black? This will be one of the most challenging things for you to do in your relationship, to focus on you. Yeah. It will be one of the most challenging things for you to do, ladies and or gentlemen. It'll be challenging. Why? Because when you talk about narcissistic abuse and when you talk about overcoming this, one of the things that you have become steeped in and that you become steeped in inadvertently is focusing on the narcissist, focusing on what they want, focusing on why they're treating you the way they're treating you, focusing on why they're doing what they're doing. You become focused on that. So it is tough sometimes, oftentimes, to take the focus off of them and to start focusing back on you and what you need. But I'm still going to say it again. First key to overcoming narcissistic abuse is focus on self. We've got 5 tips. What do I mean when I say focus on self? You know, I'm the make it plain. I'm your make it plain sister, okay? I'm going to make it plain for you. Focus on self. Do what you want, like, and need. Not talking about anything sinister. If you're married, okay, I'm not saying, well, you know, I really want to go and have a relationship with that person over there. So, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying do what you like, want, and need. That involves integrity. You know what I mean? If you like to go shop, if you like to go get yourself something to eat, if you like to go and hang with your girlfriends, if you like to go to the movies, if you just like to go to the park, if you like to go and spend time with your family, if you want to go to a cooking, you get my point? Do what you like, want, and need, and take the attention off of the narcissist and that relationship. I'm not saying neglect your responsibilities, especially if you're married. I'm not saying neglect your responsibilities, okay? If you're dating, there's a little bit more of a nuance with that. I mean, it's not like you, I don't know your agreement, but it's not like you are normally going to be living in the same house and have to wash clothes and dishes and all that kind of stuff and take care of the kids. But, you know, if so, I'm not saying neglect your responsibilities, but what I am saying put more of the focus back on you and minister to yourself now. Because narcissistic abuse thrives by depriving you of the attention and the desires that you have. It thrives on that, which is what chips away at your confidence, it chips away at your esteem, and it chips away at your emotional security. The whole point of it all. Start ministering back to yourself. What do you like to do? In fact, I'm going to challenge you. What can you do today? What can you do tonight that is going to minister to you? If it's night, well, you know, it's late. Well, you know, can you watch a funny movie? Can you watch a little show for 30 minutes? Can you watch an inspirational video? Can you go and have yourself a little treat, a little, let's think healthy, a little fruit cup or something that you really, really like? Can you call a girlfriend who makes you laugh, or a guy friend who makes you laugh? What can you do? The one thing right now to put the focus back on you. And it will feel awkward. It will feel uncomfortable, but do it. You can do hard things. I tell myself that sometimes. You can do hard things, Kisa. Okay? So again, taking the attention off of the other person and focusing more on yourself. Live your life. You want to go on a date? Take yourself on a date. You want to go and have a treat at your favorite restaurant? One of mine is Farm Bowl and Juice Company. OMG, OMG. Just treated myself the other day, right? Treat yourself. Compliment yourself. When you do something good, say to yourself, you did a good job on that. I'm really proud of you, self, for what you did. I'm really proud of you for handling that. We don't, how often do, this will challenge you, because how often do we do this, right? We don't do it. We just focus oftentimes, especially if you're an empath, especially if you're a nurturer. It involves you focusing on everyone else. And I'm asking you to not stop that, but I'm asking you to show yourself some love too. Show yourself some love. If you want to travel. Go to Atlanta the weekend. Go to New Orleans. Gather up your mother, gather up your girlfriend, or if you want to travel by yourself, go to Atlanta. Go spend the night in a hotel where you don't have to do anything. You just wake up and room service. Room service, and they bring you a fabulous plate of food, too much food, but even if you can't eat it all, you can, just think about it and think, man, I don't have to make this bed. I just get up, take a shower, and go. No announcement needs to be made. No overt gestures need to be done. You simply need to do it as soon as you can. It is one of those power moves that tilts control. This is what I wrote. It's one of those power moves that tilts the control back to you without an announcement, without any grandiose gestures. I always love to see people on social media. The types. Oh, all my friends who have not been talking to me, I'm getting ready to erase you all. I'm thinking, why don't you just go ahead and erase? If you haven't been talking to me in 5 months, I'm getting ready to clean out my friends book. It's time for me to do a rehaul. I'm thinking, why don't you just do it? I mean, I'm just thinking some people are so dramatic. And that's just their personality. I'm saying with this, no drama, no drama. You just do you, boo. You like that? Just made it up. Do you, boo. I'm intentionally hanging here. I'm intentionally spending some time to talk to you. It will be one of the most challenging things, because in narcissism, it involves you looking outside of yourself. It involves you putting someone else on the pedestal. And I'm asking you to bring that on back in. Bring it on back in, sister. Even if you're married, bring it on back in, brother. Even if you're married. The Bible says the two shall become one. In becoming one, God never melded you two together physically. Meaning he doesn't take both of you and join you together physically. That's in a spiritual sense, in your lives coming together and you making decisions and living together, and the two shall become one. You still are an individual. He didn't take you and just physically join you two together so no one can even see you or your spouse. No, you are very individual. You have very individual needs, very individual gifts, very individual talents. You think it's a sin, really, to focus on yourself? Empaths struggle with this. Nurturers struggle with this. And keep in mind, as I've said earlier, narcissists are attracted to empaths because empaths are naturally going to give. And we as empaths, I'm one of those, we just ooze care. We just ooze concern. I tell people often, I think I have like counselor and coach like stamped on top of my head, because people just see me and they just start talking to me. I mean, I'm very confidential. If I give you stories, you're not going to know who I'm talking about because I'm very confidential. And again, back to that comment that my relative made, they said, oh, some people are going to be angry or could be angry with you. And I don't care about those people who are angry, but do note, I've said that I have dealt with narcissistic abuse. I think a lot of people have. I think a ton of people have. I think a lot of our ancestors have. But are you noting? I don't mention any names. I'm a twice married woman. Okay. So if you're looking and trying to size up who I'm talking to or talking about, I'm a twice married woman. I've been in relationships before. So I'm not going to give you a name. That's not how I roll. I will firmly protect the confidentiality of the people that I have dealt with. I will firmly, I will firmly protect that. So I'm not putting anybody on blast. I'm not putting my previous husbands on blast. I'm saying that I dealt with this. I'm saying I've learned some things from this. I'm not putting them out there. I'm just letting you know that. So people can go and can speculate all of they want. I don't care about that. And I think for a long time, even if I admitted to you the truth, I would say that sort of thing held me back a little bit. Well, I don't want to talk about narcissistic abuse because number one, how is it going to make me look? Number two, people can start saying, oh, well, who's she talking about? Or could she be talking about whatever? I hadn't mentioned any names to you, and I'm 52. So that means even before my marriages, I was single a long, long time. Okay. So guess what? You not revealing any identity. I just want you to get help. And I'm just saying from a truthful perspective, I'm putting Kisa out there, not anybody else that I've dealt with. I'm putting Kisa out there. I have nothing negative to say about people in terms of naming them. I have nothing negative to say. I have nothing negative to say about you. I'm just saying, get you some help. This narcissistic abuse is prevalent. Now, I believe that our parents, I believe that our grandparents dealt with it. Papa had, a whole family right across the way. Papa had a family across the way. And grandma couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't do anything about it. Papa had a whole family across town, maybe even across the street. My mother told me a story about a gentleman who had a family, and he would drive past his wife's house. She'd be on the porch watching him as he drive by. This is a true story that my mother told me. And he'd go down to his second family's house, and she'd watch him. And he'd turn onto the road. If this is a story, my mother, I'm going to credit this to my mom. And she said that he would turn off his lights and he would drive down the road past his house. Okay? Past his house, and go to the home of his second family, the lady that he was dating. You don't think that's narcissism? Now, there are some other things going on with that too, but you don't think that's narcissism? The fact that you think that you can drive by your home, by your wife's house. Your wife is sitting on the porch watching you, and you're going to drive by the house. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You don't think that's narcissism? I remember watching the movie Fences. I remember seeing Denzel Washington come and bring the baby to Viola Davis and say she's gonna need a mother. So first of all, you've been cheating, which I suspected, but now I know. Second of all, you're going to take advantage of my goodness and my kindness and tell me to raise your child that you had by your mistress? You don't think that's narcissism? But do I think that ladies today are going to be as apt to deal with it? No. Because ladies are working and they're independent and they have sources of income. And so I don't need to stay here with you and let you take care of the bills and I take care of all of your, even if it's you bringing in children. You don't think that's narcissistic? I'm going to go out. I'm going to have another woman. I'm going to have whatever. You're going to stay here and take care of the house and take care of these children. And I just expect you to do it. That's an extreme example. But I can tell you it still happens today. Treat you, date you, compliment you. Got a little choking action going on. Compliment you. Focus on self. Number one tool to overcome and to combat narcissistic abuse and to recover from narcissistic abuse. Now it's a road ahead. It's a road ahead, but you can do it. It is possible. And just because you despair today, it doesn't mean that this has to remain this way, that this has to continue to be a part of your future. Again, let me really be careful and cautious in saying, not telling you to leave anyone. I am saying, get you some help. I am saying, focus on yourself. And that focusing on you It could mean that you are going to get you some counsel. That's a big part of focusing on you as well. Let me go ahead and write this down. I just love writing on this board, y'all. It really makes me feel like I'm just doing something in here, you know? But on a very serious note, counseling, that could be a part of that as well. Okay. I'm Kisa, Coach K. This is the first part of this series. Item number one. If you need to know more or you'd like to work with me, no worries. Just trying to find this. KisaSharp.com/life-coaching. I'm here if you need me. Meanwhile, be encouraged. There is help for you on the road to recovery from narcissistic abuse. Catch my next video for tip number 2 on how to recover from narcissistic abuse.